Well, howdy, it's Mr. Russell, where I'm going to show you how to graph your two plots of data onto Google Sheets for your density lab. And this will be really helpful to be able to show you slope and all that kind of good stuff. So I pulled some data from a student who's already turned theirs in. And now notice that on column A, I have written down my x-axis. All right, so in this case, this is our volume, and now our y-axis is going to be our mass. Now you will notice that mass, there's a second column for the other mass. That's because this grouping right here is for zinc, and this grouping right here is for silicon. All right, so there's a separation. I put this extra cell right here, but that should not make a difference. We're only looking at this group and this group. The key here is the fact that they are on two different columns. The way you get to this is you open up a new tab, and you can go to sheets.google.com, and it should give you something. Now, okay, thanks a lot, Brian ISD, that you blocked me out of that. All right. Now, and so what you'll do is you'll highlight all of this data right here, and you'll go to Insert Chart. You can either hit the icon here or go to Insert Chart, and it should pop up a graph for you. Now, sometimes it'll pop up a different type of graph or whatever, but right now it's showing a bar graph. That's not what we want. We want it to be a scatter plot. So we'll go to this chart editor on the right, and we will select scatter. And it's now showing our scatter plot with our set of data here in blue and another set of data in red. Okay, so what it's showing is your x-axis is your volume, and your series is one set of mass and another set of mass. Okay, now we need to customize this. So we're going to customize, and we're going to first add, going to go to chart title. So every graph needs a title, so we're going to say, let's see, relationship of mass grams versus volume in milliliters. Make sure you put those units. That way that title is there, and we could even clean this up by making this centered so it looks all nice and neat. All right. Now for our series, we need to take a look at this series. Now this is really important. This is where you get your trend line. While we're applying to all series, you could apply to a different one individually, but we're going to apply them to all series. On our, we're going to add a trend line, and then we're going to scroll down. We want to make sure that it is linear, okay? And we are going to add a label and use an equation. Now this equation is going to give you that y equals mx plus b equation. And then we're going to show r squared right here. This r squared shows the validity of your graph. So if I zoom in, if I can zoom in anymore on this, I'll show you that r squared right here should be close to 1. So this r squared is not so great. It's very close to 0, so that's not awesome. What that's telling you is that the data points are far away from the trend line, and the trend line does not really correlate to the data points. But this r squared is very close to 0. I mean close to 1. And so what that means is the data points are close to the trend line, as you can see right here. So that's what we want to see. We want to see one that's close to 0. Let me bring that back up by double clicking. And so we'll go back to customize, and we're not done cleaning this thing up. Now we're going to go look at our legend. Nope, we're going to look at our horizontal axis, and we need to set a minimum value right here. As you can tell, it's not including the origin right here. So we want to set a minimum value of 0. Okay? And so that is going to show that in there. And then our vertical axis, we are going to set a minimum value of 0 again. All right? Now for our axis titles, we need to make sure we label our axis. So we're going to go back up to the axis titles, and we're going to label the horizontal axis. That was our volume in milliliters. And then we'll label our vertical axis. That was our mass in grams. Hey, online students, your volume was in liters, and your mass is in kilograms, but it's not going to make a difference. So that is what your data looks like right there, and that looks pretty good. The only thing left is we actually need to show on this graph that the blue points mean that it was silicon or zinc. So the blue points were zinc. So I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to type in zinc. Alright, and the red points were silicon, so I'm going to double type that and type into that. And there we go. That shows us our data, and now we can copy and paste that into our lab report. That is how you easily create a data table with 2 trend lines and all your points, just like that. Alright, have a great day.